Magandang araw, Baguio. Magandang araw, Pilipinas. This is your Manang Lucy sa ating special series ng Baguio Chronicle podcast. Ngayong araw na to, natataon yung usapin, yung talakayan na napili natin kasi sa Baguio, maraming national events na nangyayari sa industriyang ito. But apart from the usual, ang usual kasi natin ay yung PEMSEA. But this time, we focus on the hindi masyadong naririnig ng karamihan ng ating mga kababayan dyan ay patungkol sa small-scale mining. Particularly, ang ating artisanal and small-scale gold mining. With me today is Miss Abby. Siya po ang National Manager ng ating Planet Gold Project. Pero bago yon, gusto lang namin i-explain that sila ay nasa Gold Council ng Philippines. Is there such thing as Philippine Gold Council?
Artisanal Gold Council is an NGO po based in Canada, but we have an office.
All right.
We have an office here din po sa Philippines.
So welcome, Miss Abby. Paki-explain nga sa atin yung setup ng ating project na yan and how the parties interplay. Oo, kasi mukhang maraming actors dito sa project na to.
Okay. Thank you po, Ma'am Lucy. And magandang araw po. Again, I'm Abby Ocate. I'm the National Project Manager of Planet Gold Philippines. So yung Planet Gold Philippines, ma'am, it's a project na part po of a global, bigger program, which is Planet Gold. So, meron pong 24 countries ngayon na nag-i-implement itong proyekto na to. And itong Global Program of Planet Gold, actually yung gold po doon sa Planet Gold, it stands for something. Usually, pag nagpupunta kami sa site, iniisip dahil Planet Gold, nagbebenta kami ng ginto, or madami kaming ginto.
Buyer kayo.
Buyer kami, ganyan. But gold actually stands for Global Opportunities for Long-Term Development in the ESGM sector. So, ang mission talaga ng project is to have a cleaner, more profitable supply of gold. And align po ito doon sa commitment natin sa Minamata Convention.
Yes.
Yung international treaty kung saan isa po ang Pilipinas sa signatory na nagsasabi na we will reduce and eventually eliminate yung mercury po, use ng mercury. So ayun po, yung Minamata Convention, it's an international treaty na I think 137 countries po na yung currently signatory po nun. And isa po doon ng Pilipinas. And na-ratify na rin po natin itong convention na to, na ang goal po talaga ng convention is to reduce and eventually eliminate ang mercury because mercury is a global pollutant. Ganun po siya katoxic na hindi lang siya problem ng iisang bansa. So kasi once mercury is released sa environment, nandyan na po siya and it will find its way back to human sa atin. So maapektuhan ng ating health, ang ating environment. So it's a global pollutant. That's why nagkaroon po ng ganitong kalaking treaty na may common goal lang lahat ng country. So, isa po dun sa commitment ng mga countries that signed dito sa Minamata Convention na to is to develop a national action plan on ASGM. So, bakit po may specific on ASGM? Kasi, mercury is naturally occurring po sa environment.
And even in some root crops, I remember.
Yes. But, iba po yung mercury naman na caused by human activity, yung tinatawag na anthropogenic mercury releases sa environment. And sa iba't ibang sector na covered po ng Minamata, hindi lang naman small-scale mining. Meron po sa health industry, kasi po, di ba, dati po yung thermometers may mercury. Sa dentistry, dati po yung ating mga amalgam. Feeling mercury po yan. Sa mga
I had those when I was younger.
Yes, opo. Sa mga skincare, marami po hindi may alam. Na yung iba po niyan may mercury, lalo na hindi dumaan sa maayos po talaga na review and process. So, but sa lahat po ng sector na yun, yung artisanal and small-scale gold mining, yung isa sa malaking contributor ng anthropogenic mercury releases. So, yung mercury na na-release sa environment because of human activity, ay 38% po ng anthropogenic mercury releases globally ay nanggagaling sa artisanal and small-scale gold mining.
Relatively
very
large
significant.
Percent.
Very significant. And because of that, may specific Article 7 doon sa Minamata Convention ang nakafocus on artisanal and small-scale gold mining. So, the Global Environment Facility or yung GEF as the financing arm of the Minamata Convention developed this Planet Gold program to help developing countries kung saan majority ng or malaki ang ESGM sector. Patulungan sila para ma-develop ang sector at ma-meet yung commitment nga sa Minamata Convention of reducing and eventually eliminating mercury.
Okay. So, going back lang, so the Philippines has already ratified the convention.
Yes.
And may action plan na ba ang Pilipinas?
Wala pa po. Wala pa po sa ngayon. I think
We're
may
not
mga,
yet there.
nagkaroon po ng draft before, but wala pa po yung formal, final action plan na sinubmit ang ating gobyerno sa Minamata Convention.
Yung Planet Gold project na to ba will be a part of that inputs from our previous discussion. Sabi mo nga, malapit nang matapos yung project. Oo. So, yung experience sa Planet Gold project na to, will this be an input for the action plan?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Definitely po, kasi yung project po ay implemented, nabanggit ko po yung implementing agency ay UNEP and UNIDO. But it's implemented in partnership with our government offices, Department of Environment and Natural Resources,
and
specifically MGB. So, lahat po ng outputs and learnings from project implementation, lahat po yan mapupunta sa MGB once the project close. And it will serve as input doon sa National Action Plan na ide-develop. Ongoing na po yung pag-finalize ng project proposal or project document for this National Action Plan development. It's also GEF funded. So hopefully mag-start po siya next year. And fortunately, yung organization po namin, Artisanal Gold Council. So you will still be
part of that?
Yes, opo.
Okay.
Nagkaroon po ng bidding process kung sino po yung mag-execute for the project and our organization was selected.
Yeah. And it also pays that you're already part of this ongoing project.
Yes,
Ano yan? Plus factor
yes,
yan. So, going back to the Planet Gold project, ano nga ba yung mga components nito? But una siguro, let's go back to the goals, ano ba yung goals and objectives nito, and then ano yung mga components?
So, ang goal po ng project or ng program, nabanggit ko po, overarching objective niya is to help yung commitment natin sa Minamata Convention of reducing and eventually eliminating mercury. But specific to the Philippines is to address din yung key issues linked to mercury use. Kasi hindi lang naman po pwede nating tignan yung paggamit ng mercury tas masosolve na natin siya. So, kailangan holistic yung approach. Madami pong nakatali po na issues po kung bakit sila gumagamit pa din ng mercury. So, kaya po may 4 na components yung project to address yung issues po sa mercury use. One is for formalization. Ito po yung both legalization of ESGM operations and also professionalization of the small-scale miners. And second is on access to finance and market. Sa konteksto po ng Pilipinas and also in some other countries, yung only formal gold market ay central bank. So sa atin po ay Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. And yung third po is better mining technology. So ano po yung mga alternative to use of mercury and also capacity development activities for the miners. And fourth component is on knowledge management and communication. So kaya din po nandito kami ngayon. Part po ito ng knowledge management, making sure general public knows more about the sector, hindi lang yung negative side ng sector na naririnig lang usually pag may aksidente, ganyan.
Yun ang kwan actually kasi yun ang naha-highlight.
Yes.
But it was never discussed kung ano yung magnitude ng contribution ng sector na yan.
Yung economic contribution po. And gaano kalaki, wala din pong parang nag-explain kung gaano kalaki ang sector, bakit siya importante, as well as ano po yung ginagawa currently para matulungan yung sector mag-develop. Hindi lang hayaan na maging dumami yung informal or manatiling informal yung sector.
Having said that, nabanggit mo yung 4 na yun na components, alin dun ang pinaka-challenging of the 4 components? Kasi you're towards the end of the project, alin dun ang pinaka-kwan?
Lahat po siya. Lahat po challenging kasi magkakadikit sila. Pero isa po sa pinaka-challenging, I would say po really is yung formalization ng sector. Kasi isa yan sa main problem talaga sa artisanal and small-scale gold mining, yung invisibility ng sector. And kaya siya invisible currently is dahil majority pa din ay hindi po legal. So,
tago lang po sila eh.
Yes, opo. And yun din po yung magiging mahirap pag lang po hindi carrot and stick. Puro stick lang po tayo na sabihin natin, okay, sa batas, bawal gumamit ng mercury. So, mag-close ka na. Ipa-close na yan dahil gumagamit ng mercury. Hindi naman siya ganun ka-black and white. Pag pinagbawalan mo silang gumamit ng mercury, and also ipa-close mo sila kung gumagamit sila ng mercury, lalo lang silang magtatago. Kasi hindi naman titigil yung need nila for money to meet their daily needs. So, kung hindi mo sila bibigyan ng alternative, then paano mo po i-expect na magsa-stop na lang sila?
And so, then they would be, dahil sa magtatago, they would operate in more unsafe situations. Kaya marami talagang nabibiktima because of the fact that they need to hide themselves while doing it,
So magtatago po sila, yun nga po sabi nyo, mas lalo po silang mag-employ ng unsafe practices. And also si government or any other organization, even NGO, mas mawawalan po ng access sa kanila to parang reach out and assist. Yes, give assistance kung ano po yung kailangan nila. Kasi nga, they can't do it on their own. Kailangan nila ng tulong. So, ayun po, yung sa formalization na part.
And of course, all the other components, kasi nga when they're invisible and they won't be so trusting, I would imagine.
True.
Kasi nga alam nila na hindi sila legal, so they will not let anybody into their into their operations or share whatever their experiences are. So going back naman sa sa alignment with sustainability goals. So how does this project align with these sustainability goals?
Basically, dun po sa reduction and elimination talaga ng mercury. Kasi pag natanggal po natin ng mercury sa small-scale mining, una, mas makukuha po ng ating gobyerno yung ginto. Kasi sa BSP po, hindi sila nagtatanggap ng gold from small-scale mining galing po sa, kung yung small-scale mining operation ay informal or walang licenses. And also, kung gumagamit sila ng mercury.
Okay.
So, pag ganun po yung nangyari, then of course, yung ating gold ay mapupunta sa black market.
Yes.
Na usually, ganun po yung nangyayari.
It goes to Hong Kong, from what I heard. May black market sa Hong Kong
And very important po yung gold na napupunta sa BSP. Kasi yun po yung nagiging part nung ating gross international reserve or yung GIR. And ang function po nitong GIR na to, it serves as like a cushion para po sa mga external economic factors like kung meron pong, may war sa ibang bansa, so apektado, tataas ang inflation. Kung okay po ang ating GIR, hindi tayo ganun maapektuhan. So,
mas stable ang economy natin.
Tataas po ang inflation pero hindi ganun kataas kung compared sa kung mababa po yung GIR natin. And according to BSP, ma'am, yung 80% ng gold na nakukuha nila at nagiging part ng ating GIR, nanggagaling po sa small scale mining.
And to think na marami pang na i-smuggle out. So you can imagine
paano
the
pa
magnitude
kung lahat,
kung gaano kadami yung kanilang production.
Sa data po ng DENR, ma'am, 70% daw ng annual gold production nanggagaling sa small scale. So, ganun kalaki yung difference nung ASGM sector sa large scale.
So, 30% lang yung large scale.
Sa large scale.
And then they don't give their total gold production to BSP.
Yes, kasi hindi po sila required. Doon po sa isang project na Actually, parang sister project nitong Planet Gold Philippines, Planet Gold Mongolia. Doon po sa 24 countries na nabanggit ko kanina na may Planet Gold. Planet Gold Philippines and Mongolia lang yung considered na regional project. So, iisang project lang po ang Philippines and Mongolia. And sa kanila, required din na magbenta sa BS or sa central bank nila. But even the large scale. Pero for us, small scale mining lang po ang required. For large scale, they have an option to export.
Yeah.
And
I remember yung mga kilala kong large scale, diretso nga eh. From the mine site to the airport, to an airplane waiting for the gold to be shipped and to be brought to another country.
Ganun po usually. And I think meron lang pong 4 na large-scale mining companies ngayon na nagbebenta kay BSP. And majority of it, like, yung gold ay byproduct lang nila.
Yeah, actually, ibang mineral
ibang mineral ang kanilang minamine. Tapos meron lang silang nagkukuhang gold, so medyo maliit compared sa talagang main commodity nila. So they sell it to the central bank.
And not 100%. From what I read, it's one big mine is only selling 25% of their gold production. Hindi lahat. So napakalaking bagay ang contribution pala ng small scale na gold mining sa ating economy na hindi yan naririnig ng karamihan. Kasi nga nakla-cloud yan ng mga negative na kwento about it or usually pertaining to safety. So what other components would you like to share also sa ating mga tagapakinig at tagapanood? There was some mention of gender, no? Oo. So, why is gender an important aspect of the project?
So, sa implementation po ng project, we make sure na yung mga activities namin, meron po talagang gender lens. Kasi importante po ang kababaihan sa small scale mining sector. So, pinag-usapan nga po natin kanina yung invisibility ng ASGM sector, no? Mas invisible pa po ang mga kababaihan sa mining. Pero, kung tutuusin, malaking bahagi po talaga sila. And usually, hindi nila kinoconsider ang sarili nila as miner, and gano'n na rin po yung mga kalalakihan. They don't consider yung mga women sa area po nila na miner.
Baka ang miner lang yung nag-underground.
Ayun nga po yung iniisip nila. But usually po sa processing part of it, ay puro kababaihan po yung, or madalas kababaihan po yung nagtatrabaho sa pagpoproseso. Sila din po yung ma-expose din sa mercury. Kasi ang mercury naman po sa processing side hindi naman
sila
sa extraction
mas at risk.
Exactly po. But in terms of formalization, sila po yung mas involved and mas engaged. So yung mga kababaihan po, usually ang officers ng mga small-scale mining associations, sila ang gumagawa ng bylaws, nagsisigurado yung mga member nila, sumusunod sa napag-agrihang bylaws, sila ang nag-aayos ng mga document at naglalakad nitong mga document na to para magkaroon
yung mga mabusising trabaho.
Yes po, para magkaroon sila ng ECC, para mag-apply sila ng small-scale mining contract. Usually po yan kababaihan. Sila yung mga umiintindi ng batas, ng mga requirements. And also, even dun sa mismong minahan, sila po yung nagluluto para sa mga minero. And yung lutuan po nun, nandun lang din yun sa
tabi kung
mining
saan sila
area.
Nagpa-process.
Yes po. So, very important po talaga na makilala din ang
kanilang
role
papel.
ng kababaihan.
One last, nakatago ang karamihan sa kanila. Paano ninyo ine-engage yung mga small-scale miners na to na in their involvement in the project? Kasi nga, di ba, most of them are, sabi ko nga, hindi sila madaling mag-trust ng strangers in their community. At saka pangalawa, takot din silang to come out in the open kasi nga kung hindi sila formalized or legalized yung kanilang operation. So, how do you engage them?
Totoo po yun, na hindi sila nagtatrust easily. So, for the project, ma'am, we did a lot of community consultations and meeting with the miners. Siguro po yung first few 1 or 2 years talaga, babad po kami talaga sa community, talking to the miners. And we make sure po na engage sila in every step of the project implementation. So sa design pa lang ng project, like yung sa componentry, yung planta po na pinatayo ng project,
Yung
which we will
infrastructure,
discuss po in a separate episode, sila po yung kinonsult namin kung ano po yung gusto nila na design, and also in terms of yung sa mga capacity development activities or trainings po na pinoprovide ng project. Nag-conduct din po kami ng training needs assessment to make sure na yung CapDev or capacity development activities that we implement, yun talaga yung need nila at interest nila na galing sa kanila. We're not assuming na ito yung kailangan nyo, ito yung ibibigay natin na activity. So and also we have field coordinators on the side para
nataga doon din.
And
so
also
that helps in establishing trust, di ba?
And also speak yung local language, lalo na for Sagada site namin. So ano po sila doon, Ilocano and Kankanaey yung ginagamit po nila. Kasi si Artisanal Gold Council Philippines, ito pong project team, ang office po ay sa loob po ng MGB compound sa QC. So, doon po talaga yung office ng team. But, siguro po mga twice a month, nasa field po kami. Pero gusto po namin everyday, updated din kami sa nangyari on the ground, and also we can give them updates about project. Kaya meron din po kami talagang assigned field coordinator in each of the site.
Yung nabanggit mo yung project site nyo dito sa Cordy, syempre, within our territory, kumbaga, ano. So, yung Sagada ay mukhang it's relatively new ba? Or it's one of the oldest nag-ooperate ng artisanal and small scale?
Matagal na po silang nag-ooperate. It's part of their culture na nga, nung sinabi po based po sa aming interviews with the miners.
But compared to the other project site, parang mas nauna ang Paracale, no?
Kasi po si Paracale po ay gold town po talaga. 80% ng residents sa Paracale ay nakaasa po sa small scale mining. Sabi nga po nila before pa na panahon pa ng Spaniards.
Oo. Actually, pati yung mga gold, ay yung mga malalaking minahan dito, ano pa pre-Spanish time.
Yes, opo.
Na may mga ano na.
Time po na daw na
I think you
yun.
can consider them small scale kasi mga kwan lang, mga
nasa
community
backyard lang
workers.
daw po talaga nila. And minsan po sa bahay daw po nila, kuha lang sila ng bato, makita nila, may ginto.
Oo, ganun ka no?
Yes. Kaya din po,
available, accessible.
Gumagamit po sila ng, majority sa Paracale po talaga gumagamit pa ng mercury kasi in terms of yung kung gaano siya ka-accessible and madaling gamitin, wala pa pong alternative for that. But may alternative na safer and also na hindi gagamit ng mercury, so safer sa environment and health, and also mas mataas yung productivity. Kasi po sa paggamit ng mercury, 30% lang po ang nare-recover nila.
It's less, Siguro yun yung pag-uusapan mamaya, no? Why do they still continue to use it despite alternative which yields higher, tapos yung mas safe? Oo, but we'll save that for our next discussion.
But what's unique po sa Sagada, i-mention ko lang din po, ay isa po siya dun sa pinakamabilis na isyuhan ng Minahang Bayan and Small Scale Mining Contract dito po sa CAR. Ganon. So, ganon po din yung, it shows po yung commitment ng Small Scale Mining Association and also yung support ng LGU and ng ating MGB po dito, MGB CAR. And compared po sa ibang sites, yung Sagada po talaga hindi na gumagamit ng mercury.
And from what I hear, sila mismo ang nagdesisyon na hindi sila pwedeng gumamit.
Actually, not only mercury, but any form of chemical. Hindi po sila nag-aalaw na gumamit. Nagkaroon po ng MOA between the 10 barangays. Hindi lang po yung barangays na may part ng mining community, but pati po yung downstream barangay.
Kasi sila ang sila ang recipient of whatever happens upstream. Oo, tama naman. Napakagandang kwento yan actually. Probably one of these days, let's pay them a visit. Magandang i-feature yung kwento nila na not necessarily chemical free, but I would consider it a safe mining practice.
It can be done responsible and safe small-scale mining operation.
Napaka-responsable talaga. And the culture played a big role in determining what kind of mining they would go into. Okay? With that, we end this episode. Oo. Siguro, message mo lang sa ating mga artisanal and small-scale gold mining communities.
Well, ang message ko lang sa ASGM community, I know most of the time it would feel na parang wala kayong katulong, mag-isa kayo, so ang daming problema. Kailangan nyo magpa-formalize, kailangan nyo ng budget to do yung mag-undergo ng formalization process kasi po hindi siya madali eh. Madami pong requirements eh. And also yung pag-implement ng mga alternative technologies para hindi na nga kayo gumamit ng mercury kasi we know na most of the miners din naman alam na po kung ano yung dangers ng paggamit ng mercury but they don't have a choice but to use that.
Yeah.
So, just want you to know na meron pong ginagawa ang mga organizations tulad po ng Artisanal Gold Council at also ang kasama niyo po ang government, local government, and national government agencies, ang Mines and Geosciences Bureau, to help you ma-develop po ang sector.
Thank you, Miss Abby. And salamat din po sa inyong pakikinig at panunood sa ating episode na to. Maraming salamat at magandang araw sa inyong lahat.